Order, please stand for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Christina. Here.
Council Member Langley.
Here.
Council Member Benedini.
Here.
Council Member Ferraro. And Council Member Steigerwald.
Here. Do I have a motion to excuse Jeff?
I'll make a motion to excuse Councilmember Marrero.
Support.
Do we want, just for Christina's sake, do all in favors, or would you like her to do a roll call for each?
Is there anything on there you want a roll call on, Grant?
I don't see anything that is, I wouldn't anticipate as being overly controversial or, so that anybody can call for a roll call vote, but it might be easier just to do a.
Sounds good.
I don't know how to ask for that.
She'll just say
I'll
all
help
in
you.
favor.
Don't worry about it.
Put you on the spot.
Do I have a motion on the agenda? Is there anything to
Would
change?
you want, do we finish the Jeff excusing, all in favor?
Oh, yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hear none. Do I have approval of the agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
Just wait, I'm writing. Move on to approval of the
All in
minute.
favor?
Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hear none? Why is this like echoing in my ear? Approval of manifest 2026.
Minutes.
Oh, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of all right now, February 4th, 2026.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for the regular meeting of February 4th, 2026.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hear none. Move on to the approval of manifest 2026-04. Sarah, did you have any questions?
No.
Ricky?
No, I didn't. No, I don't. Thank you.
Ricky, or Rico?
No questions, Madam Mayor.
I have none for tonight. I just had that, one question for you to talk to Scott about. Did you ask him
Yeah.
about what happened when you went out of the window on
The-
that manifest?
Yeah, the reason was, she said that it was just a high usage, there was no,
No, we didn't go offline.
no,
or
nope,
anything.
it was just a high usage, and that time was like 1.2 kilowatts.
Okay. Do I have a motion on the manifest?
I'll make a motion to approve manifest 2026-04 in the amount of $416,586.36.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hear none. And then we had in our packet the answers to the previous questions. Anyone in attendance wishing to address the council on any item of interest shall do so now at the podium. State your name and address for the record. Comments shall be limited to three minutes per person. We have no one. And do we have any questions on the agenda items? We have nobody in the audience. We'll move on to action items. Number 1, data center ordinance. Dan.
So this was just something that caught my attention, that's going on in the news in different communities, and a lot of people concerned with large-scale data centers coming to the community. I don't necessarily think that would happen here, but it's just one of those things that I don't necessarily want us to get blindsided by if something comes down the road. Looking at data centers, whether we want to regulate it, not have it at all. There's concerns with, consumption with water tables and electric usage, and what I'm really looking for here is if this is something that council has any interest in us looking at from a zoning perspective, I would shift it to the planning commission for discussion. It may even be part of a discussion in the master plan in some way. But it's really just, I don't want to waste too much time of staff or planning commission if council isn't interested in us exploring this in any way. I did speak to Councilmember Steigerwald briefly on something else, but we discussed this, and there's discussion of large scale, small scale, and there's areas for us to review. In this inner city portion, I don't see it. You could see large acreages in the country area within the city limits being sold at some point, and these coming up again. I don't think it's likely, but just something I thought the planning commission could review and make a recommendation down the road.
A lot of municipalities in Michigan, okay. I was in a meeting yesterday with 9 other municipalities as part of Michigan Municipal League, and it actually came up, and the league is working hard to try to get some more information out because everybody is unsure what they're doing, and the towns that have taken action, a lot of them have not tabled it. What is that term? They've put a moratorium on it for now. And when we're talking about data centers, we're talking about mega data centers. There's a difference. I mean, a data center can be a room of servers. So so this is really talking about mega data centers. I honestly, they would come to us saying, hey, can you handle this kind of water usage and electrical usage?
Sorry, I'm trying to.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah, that's,
It's Grant's mic. He's got it tilted to Candy.
I don't know, we've been having that for a while.
Sorry, we'll address that here later on. Sorry.
I don't think we really necessarily need to do anything about it, because if something like this was to come to our community, they would be asking us if we can handle the demand of the water and of the electricity. WPPI in their annual report, when they came here for their presentation, mentioned that this is decades away for WPPI to support a mega center with the amount of power that's being generated. So I don't think there's necessarily anything that needs to be done, but I can take it back to the planning committee.
The only action I had on this was if you wanted to go to planning for sort of discussion and review. Like I said, like Ricky said, I think it's unlikely. What caught my attention, I saw a city hall meeting in the city of Howell, Michigan, which I'm familiar with, and I was surprised somebody wanted to go in that area just because they're not near large bodies of water. I don't know their capacity for DTE and electric. Then I thought about Highline, how we were a little caught off guard by them coming in, and just trying to look towards the future in certain topics that may not be here now, but maybe later.
yeah, I don't think we need to make a decision or whatever.
No.
Like, just to be on top of it.
And
It could happen, you just don't know. but-
As long as there's ordinances or regulations in place that require a business that's going to say, hey, I need to use a lot of water or a lot of electricity, and they need to apply for a permit, so we're aware of it before they can even build. We talk about data centers, but there's other industries that could have that same kind of impact. So is it make more sense to not talk about mega data centers? Is it more the sense of like a threshold where they have to apply?
But one of my questions would be, do they have to come to us, or do we have to serve them for
usually
what they
what will
need?
happen, if you get like a large-scale housing development or some sort of industry, they will, and I don't know if ours requires it, but on their side, if we don't, we probably should have something in there, but they will ask, do you have the capacity to serve this development, whether it's water, sewer, electric in our case. And if we, look at their development and say, well, our current wells cannot handle the capacity of the houses they want to put in. They'll either move on or might discuss, ways to improve that infrastructure to serve.
Can they make you be
I
able?
don't believe they can make you do that.
No, they can't, because it's not in their interest. They would just move on.
Yeah, I've had large developments and we're ready to serve for water, sewer. We looked at our capacity and what they were building, and we could, and we issued a letter that, if you develop here, again, within zoning regulation, we can serve water.
And that's the thing, is if we're covered as far as they need to explore that with us before they build, that's more what you need.
Well, I guess
You need to understand, mega centers these days are using their own power. They're usually using a natural gas generator system to power these mega centers rather than tapping into the grid, the public grid. And draining lake is one thing, but they're also, they can lower your groundwater table, which would be a disaster here with the number of dwellings that have
And
wells.
that wouldn't necessarily be a ready to serve for water, because we're,
Yeah.
out in the country, those are, within the city limits, those are well, and septic, not city water. And I don't know the permitting process for a facility like that from a well stand. I think that'd be county regulations on a well, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of part of this conversation, is finding out what things we don't know.
Right, and that would be my main thing is, can they come in and shove it down your throat and say, we're coming here, you
No.
gotta give us some service?
There would have to be state laws in
Well, I
place, so
told
we have to
Ricky,
watch that.
and if data centers from like an AI perspective become so important to our economy and infrastructure, I could almost see it happening like cell towers, and where it's federally required, you can't deny it. You just have some regulations around it, but you can't deny it.
Well, that's what I'm.
That's not where it is now.
No, but that's what I was kind of getting.
Honestly, the other thing I said to him, they're gonna go rural, they're gonna go to the townships, they're gonna go we have some properties, like if they bought a bunch of properties to put something like this together, but they're gonna go rural. So it would be more the townships and stuff that,
Current zoning would, it's always
there's
a
nothing
tough
we
thing
can do
of
about
like,
it.
we have nothing that allows it, but that doesn't mean you can have it. We don't have data centers in our zone, and they're not currently, that sort of industry wouldn't be allowed out in those zoning districts. But we don't have anything there that outright bans certain things.
Yeah.
So it's very good.
See what the MML comes up with,
Yeah.
as far as further guidance, especially for communities in our
They're,
situation.
they are planning on putting out more guidance and
Yeah.
hopefully even a webinar or presentation of
Yeah.
some sort talking about the municipality piece of that. But
what we
also on a
belong to
corporate
those-
side, they're not going to invest millions of dollars on something that is going to fail.
But the motion here is just to instruct the planning commission to review a topic of the data centers and provide the council with a recommendation ordinance regulating them within the city of Norway just as a measure of extra protection, correct? That's all that is it.
Yeah, it's just, I don't want to spend a lot of time with the
Yeah.
planning commission, or if this is something that we don't want to spend time on right now. That's why it's.
I mean, I would hate to see something like this come into our town.
No,
I mean, but if it's not possible for them to come into the town, there's no reason to waste time.
I think it's highly unlikely. But you are seeing communities that are, I think,
Never
taking
say
off.
never.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think we have time. I think Ricky makes sense of looking at the league and see what they come up with. I think our time frame, I'd be shocked
Yeah.
if.
That's why a lot of.
We don't have housing, how are they gonna bring in a data
There
center?
is no employees as part of that.
Not initially, I read my brief.
That's why a lot of local authorities are putting a temporary moratorium on them until there's a better understanding of what they
Yeah.
need to write up.
Yeah. That's what we belong to the MML for, let them do a little bit of digging on it.
Yeah, we have time. We just happened to come across those.
Yeah, no.
And just for the draft ordinance was created by ChatGPT. So the same data centers that we're talking about that run AI and gave us an example.
So we don't have to move on
We
that.
should do the
So
opposite.
do you want the planning commission to look into
That's
this?
the question.
Or
say yes.
does
I
it
don't-
make more sense
I don't think it would hurt. I
Or-
mean,
Or does it make more sense to put a temporary moratorium on it for a year,
I think till
whatever?
we know a little bit more, don't
If
you?
anything is, because planning commission is gonna start getting busy.
Yes.
With the master plan. When we start that process, we could bring something like this up and does it have a place in these discussions? And if it does, maybe that's where we start.
Yeah, so maybe bring it there and, you know what I mean? Give them a little heads up and see where it goes. It's not gonna hurt to let them know.
All right, so I will let them know.
And we don't really know a whole lot.
Yeah,
If council, we can bring it up during the master plan process to see if this is something we want to incorporate, or if it's not appropriate. And then once we get down that road, we can probably bring it back and we start to feel like there's something.
All right. Move on to item number 2, energy. Did you want us to vote on that or no?
Well, no. Okay, if we don't want to go to planning right now, you can just, it's,
table it.
Sit there.
I don't even take it.
Okay, all right.
Energy control and design annual contract renewal.
So this is just the annual contract for energy control and design. They've been the contractor that maintains our HVAC system, our boilers, our air conditioning. We've had them as far as I can remember, obviously since I've been here before. I think the system was put in by an individual who went to work for energy control. I can't explain our system. It's probably more complicated than any system I've seen in HVAC. I'm not sure who else we could possibly get to have this contract with. I don't think we have any issues with energy control design.
No, we didn't.
No, this doesn't cover repairs. This is just the annual maintenance of the boilers and air conditioning. When they find things wrong, we use them to repair it. There's discounts on the cost for those.
Is it just here for City Hall?
No, it's for all.
Okay. All right, that's my only question.
just one question. Are the boilers life expectancy? Do we know what kind of?
I don't know where they are in their life expectancy. I think, I've seen them go from 20 to.
We're still able to get
30+.
parts and all
Yeah.
that for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we ain't as bad as the school is.
And, this building is 23 years old now or so. And they usually keep us up to date on
Okay.
if things are about to go. We've had some heat exchangers go, we've had to have some bigger replacements, but they do keep us up to date on
Well, it feels like the air is on tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe they can check that out, because I feel like there's air conditioning right on me. Right on me.
Do I have a motion on energy control design annual contract renewal?
I'll make a motion to approve the contract extension with Energy Control and Design for preventative maintenance of mechanical equipment for the HVAC system beginning March 1st, 2026, and ending February 28th, 2027.
Can you put the price and not to exceed?
The price would be $4,672.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hear none? Move on discussion, Eagle Water Infrastructure Grant.
So this is not a fun topic. So over the last 2 years, we've been doing those inspections at households, random, 20% of households that look for their water service line connection. And if it's lead, copper, galvanized, or previously connected to copper, lead, or galvanized. So we have 2 grants to accomplish that work that we completed last summer. The next phase of this law, I'll say, so this is a federal law and it's a state law. The federal law supersedes state law, and so our timeline now starts for replacement of these lead, galvanized, previously connected service lines. 10 years starting in 2028 is the current EPA law. for this. Typically, these service lines are not the responsibility of the utility. It is the responsibility of the homeowner. So typically, if you have a frozen service line or a break in your service line, it's RICO, that's your private line, you have to pay for that. This law is, if it's lead, galvanized, or previously connected, it is now the utility's responsibility to replace. So we estimate that it's around 10,000 a line. That includes the contracting work and the engineering work to go along with it. We have roughly figured 700 or so of those lines to replace.
Out of how many?
Oh, we have about 13 or 14, I think.
Okay, so roughly 50% of our
Yeah.
lines
Yep.
that we figure are,
Yep, and this, we also service part of the township.
Yep.
Get into that a little bit as well. My memo had quoted the state regulation, which was 20 years, and I emailed everybody about the EPA's, and I was incorrect. The EPA's is 10, so that's 10 years comes in place. But what we're talking about tonight is trying to find money to help either pay for these services or at least provide a low interest loan. So I've been working with Coleman to send in our intent to apply for the state revolving fund loan for water infrastructure. We have put in there a request for $3.5 million, so the total cost estimate is around $7 million for all of us to do in 10 years.
Crazy.
When we start talking about how to pay for these, we're looking at rates. And to complete this in 10 years, we're looking at doing about 70 per year, or 10% to make that timeline, about 700,000 per year. Now we don't have to start, if we get a loan, with a state revolving loan, it's a 2.5 to 2.75% interest rate or lower, depending on if we're disadvantaged or severely disadvantaged, and I'll get into that. But we can see rates here. Be $10 a month more, up to $20 a month more, as potentially two different loans start to cross each other at $3.5 million.
So would that be a fixed monthly rate, not part of the kilowatts?
I would suggest it be a fixed monthly rate and not part of consumption.
Okay.
Because we want, consumption, it can fluctuate, we need a certain amount each year to pay off.
I'm sure if we take out them loans, they're gonna wanna ask how we're gonna pay them back.
Yeah.
yeah, that figure out.
And show that we're doing something.
Right. So we were supposed to be replacing 5% a year, which we haven't been. We just finished our exploratory investigation of the random selection of homes to find out who's what. So what we're looking for tonight is we have to start the application process soon to do this. And Coleman has done their intent to apply, but as we get into, if we get to a loan and we need an engineer, we should really RFP that. It will be a substantial amount of money. So if we're not going to go with Coleman out of the gate, we need to consider hiring them just for the application process, because it's intense, it's engineering, we don't have the capacity to apply for that. If they were our engineers for the project, that would be part of the project. But we don't have time to RFP this. And so at the next meeting, I will have a proposal from Coleman for just the application process, which is, we figure about $5,000. And Scott Nowak will be here to kind of discuss this application and the process. Even the application process, we just don't have time to look for others to do it. If they did our intent, I would suggest that we look at the proposal, and then once we get the application and we know what we're able to get or not, we do an RFP for an engineer to do this work. Because they need to be on site, we need easements for every single line we replace. They need to be there to inspect. You have to hire a contractor. Likely the funds, if we get them, will also be from the federal funding area, which comes along with a whole lot of regulations on who your contractor is, what they provide. It's just more than we have the capability to do. Now,
Did the city, did we ourselves do all the sampling, random sampling?
no,
So we hired that, we hired that out too, okay.
For the grant. Now, those were 100% grant. We didn't have to pay.
Yep.
Um,
Who did that?
The first round was Marcus Blind, the second round was Smith Construction.
Okay.
So if you look at the interest rates for this type of loan, standard applicant, overburdened applicant, significantly overburdened applicant. So the way they determine, the state determines your overburdened or significantly overburdened, takes into account the household median income and the taxable value.
Where are we? I'm sorry.
So, the very back, the last page of the packet, there's fiscal year
Huh.
26. So this is from the state revolving fund.
So this is where we want to be really poor.
Well, it helps. Now, City of Norway's household median income per the state's website, and Christina and I have talked about this, inquiring if it's correct, it's 63,000, which is higher than Ireland, higher than Kingsford. Our taxable value is lower, but our household median income is high. And to make it worse, we service the township, portions of the township. And so we have to have a blended household median. So we have to take their household median income into account, which is $91,000. So you take our 63, take their 91, come up with our household median. And, so our overburden or significantly overburden starts to get difficult. Now, a lot of communities have already gotten these grants or these funding. So, maybe if we are a standard applicant, maybe we'll get lucky and get a different interest rate and potentially get a 50% reduction of principal pay. Because if you are overburdened, significantly overburdened, that's where you start to look at getting that 50% grant, sort of
Yeah.
grant.
Well, that's,
Nothing about us being small,
No. Now we can.
rural.
rural.
We can do a survey of the township to get a median income.
Yeah.
Scott from Coleman said he's seen that successful once.
Yeah, I was
That
gonna
was
say,
in Brighton.
I don't think you wanna do that. It'd probably end up on the higher.
It doesn't include Vulcan, does it?
It was.
Yes,
Oh, but then it includes the, yeah.
But, what it's,
I don't
we
think
have
I'd
a
go
lot
over
of the houses on the lakes.
Right.
But that survey is only good for 1 year. This is it's when do you get them to go together? Because this process, we probably wouldn't start construction until 27, I think Scott said. So I have to talk to him about the logistics of doing a survey as it matches up within the right time frame to apply for this and get it awarded.
Where do they get that 61,000 number from?
They say it's the census, right, Christina?
Okay, so we just need,
That's what they said.
we just need to make sure
And
that that's
I can
accurate.
send you guys the link, it's just on
I think I've seen that
Eagle
number.
website. You can see everybody's median income of all municipalities.
Okay.
Taxable value. So when
I've seen
we
that number
submit this, we're either, I'm pretty confident we're gonna get money, but it may just be in the form of a loan at 2.75%, or maybe a loan at 1 million, half of 3.5, and then down the road, we would be going for another loan of some sort to get the other 3.5 to finish this project.
Okay.
So
I think we really gotta educate the public on this, so they understand why we're taking out the money. Why your rates are gonna go up.
And this application, if we get this loan, it comes with, a discussion on bond council, and it's all, but it's gonna, there's not much way around to have to pay for this and how we do it. The water fund, it's not like we have debt coming off soon to free up money. It's a struggling fund as it is. We don't have a lot of R&I. We just took out an internal loan of $350 to cover a water main. So when we talk rates and budget, it's going to be a conversation of an increase in rate specifically for this, but we can't ignore a rate increase just for everyday inflation. It's going to be a difficult conversation.
Does this affect roads? Like, are they gonna have to tear up parts of the roads that we're gonna have to repave?
Possible.
It could.
Then there's a question going around right now in the manager's listserv about using Act 51 money if in fact roads have to be torn up to help offset some of those costs.
What's Act 51?
That's how we usually pay for major local roads. So that question's been out there about, can we use that money to offset costs if it involves a road or not? I'd say the vast majority are not. It's not like a sewer where it's in the road and this is your connection. So if you find where your curb stop is, it's kind of there. And it's just that point to the house, into the house, that we again are not responsible for.
So there is the benchmarks we have to hit each year with this?
Well, the recommendation is against 5% per year, and that was going back, I think, in 2020. And we just hadn't done, we didn't move on the inspections until 23. We finally got that moving once I got my head around the DWAM and what we had, and then we went out for another grant to get that finished. And now we're at this part,
And this is the connection, right? We don't go into the home, so if there's lead piping or galvanized pipes,
We know we have.
This
This
goes-
has to, yeah.
all the way down into the basement.
Yep.
And I'm
That's
surprised
why
that they're
Kristen-
doing this because
Yep.
always before it was the homeowner's
Yes.
responsibility.
And that's.
And it is for everything else, it just wouldn't be for this, right? This is,
Generally speaking, it's always on the homeowner,
Yeah.
but with these laws, when it comes to the lead and the galvanized is now our responsibility.
Where are we in comparison to other communities around the UP with this?
We
Or what phase of it are?
I'd say we're probably behind.
Okay, so that means we've got some people that we can learn from.
I mean, Iron Mountain,
How other
Kingston are not
communities are
done,
doing
but they've gotten rounds of this money and they've done replacements. And talking to some of them, they had debt coming off and they've been starting to put this away, preparing for it. We are behind the game when we were trying to figure out doing the inspections. And we had a grant, I think, in 2020 or 2021 for the inspections, and nothing just
well,
didn't start.
they were just doing that this last summer at the end of the
Last
summer,
summers.
yeah. Because they were digging outside
Yeah.
my house, like numerous
So
areas,
we
yeah.
had that grant when I came on board, and around 23 when I started to understand what we're doing is when I kind of took over the process with GEI, who was our engineer for that, and we just finished up.
Right, because we lost out on that grant.
No, we got it all. We got extensions. We had.
Oh, did we?
Yep, they gave us extensions. We used that money.
Okay, good. Because I thought that we lost out on some of
No,
that.
they gave us extensions for that.
So if homeowners don't want you in their house to make this change, how does that, are we gonna get penalized? Or
I
do we have
don't
to-
know.
or enforcement?
That's why we have to get an easement for every single property. And, Coleman has and all engineering firms do right now. They have a draft, this is all they've been doing for several years, is this kind of work.
Right, our rates keep going up.
So, like I said, this is a discussion item, so I didn't have any motion or anything for anyone, this was just kind of to start the conversation. You know, we had our meeting with Eagle last week with Coleman and everyone in our water department and Public Works to get the process going of deadlines and everything like that. So, at the March 4th is we'll have a proposal to hire for the application.
Go ahead with Coleman. We gotta get this ball rolling. That money comes out and that.
Yeah.
And I talked to Scott.
I agree.
If we're good on the March 4th, we're fine. They've done this, they know how to do it. They'll have the proposal, and they'll get right on it. If he would have told me that it was too late, we would have just had it in action right now. But I want to at least get this out in front before we make it happen.
Thank you.
And I don't want you to motion without having the actual proposal.
No,
It's about 5,000, but we'll have the proposal in here.
Well, I'm just gonna tell you I have a sample of the proposal here. And either would Grant, right,
Yeah.
Grant?
So this will, again, it's just gonna be some education, find a way to be burdened. You know, here I have. I ran some numbers on the projection of loans. Yeah, it becomes a significant increase. Yeah, I mean, at a $7 million, this is internet math here. A $7 million 30-year loan at 2.75%, that's a yearly payment of $345,000. And now granted, that's the whole project over a 10-year period. When you break it down to that 3.5, 3.5 at 30 years at 2.75, roughly $172,000. That's an extra $10 a month. $10 a month for roughly between the city and township, 1,700 homes. That's about $180,600 a year at $1 a month, or $172,000 a year bond fee. So, yeah.
And as far as lead levels, they're very low,
I
correct?
am not aware that we've had much, and that was our former Public Works and Water supervisor's contention is we don't have much lead result. Let's go on lead results rather than replace everything. But the law is the law, and we have to do what it is.
That's why it's important we contact our lawmakers and advocate
Yep.
for communities of our size.
I mean, it's not a bad thing to have done.
Yeah, funding wise.
It's,
Yeah, just
and
help us.
And there's money out there, and there's probably still going to be more money out there. It's a matter of are we eligible for the grant portion? So
State grant, federal grant?
well, it depends. It's going to be
Both.
This will likely be both.
Okay.
Somewhere in the
And people are getting their money, municipalities are getting their money, they're not holding everything up.
No, I haven't heard that people are holding it up for this. Because there's two different types of grants for this, and when it comes to the lead thing, a lot of that's coming from the feds, which, when it comes from the Fed, there's just a lot more rules and regulations on contractors, and you have to contract, you can't do it in-house. It's their rule too. But it gets complicated.
Gotcha.
So that's where we are, just kind of wanting to give you the heads up on this project. And we all knew it was coming, just when you start to get to the position where you're ready to move forward with finding the funding, it just kind of, it's a little more, again, we haven't been doing five. We've done some, as we've done our inspections, and we found a lead line that was leaking at the time of inspection, we replaced it. So we've done some, paid for it, in-house, but this is our next
Any other questions? If not, I'm gonna move on to mayor council comments. Sarah, did you have anything for tonight?
I'm good, thank you.
Ricky?
I just wanted to let the public know that today 4 bills were introduced into the House as a broader 9-bill package that will limit zoning for residential at the local level. So the state is trying to take over a lot of municipalities' rights to zone our own area. That's it.
Rico?
No comments.
I have none. Dan?
Nothing for me tonight.
Grant?
Nothing, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Christina, did you have anything tonight? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hear none? Meeting adjourned.